Well, welcome back to the Williams, Elleby, Howard, and Easter YouTube channel. I'm Joel, and this is Jared, and today we want to dive a little deeper and get more granular in a topic that we've covered broadly before, but we're going to get specific today, and that is when you're in a wreck and you're at the scene, the proper way and what you need to capture when you do videos and pictures, presumably from your phone nowadays, but what do you really need to capture in order to support your case and prove that the wreck was not your fault? So you want to get us started, Jared?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, everyone at the scene always thinks about taking pictures of their own vehicle. You know, they focus really heavily on getting those pictures to show their damage. I think they're thinking about showing it to the insurance company, you know, various things. But it's vitally important to also take pictures of the other car. I've had so many cases over the years where my client gives me some pictures that they're not the best. They show some damage, but, you know, it looks like a moderate to minor impact wreck, and then months down the road a photo shows up, somehow we get into litigation, we make the insurance company give it to us, and then we see the other car and it's completely smashed, and the insurance company the whole time has been making it seem like, oh, look at your damage to your client's car, this isn't a big wreck, there's no way that they could have been injured, and then we see the other car and it's just completely trashed. So I think it's really important to not just focus on your vehicle, but also make sure you get some photos of the other vehicle as well, so that we can really tell the whole story and see the whole picture of, you know, the impact and how it affected everything.
Yeah, and I think that's super important too. If we do get into a contested liability case where one person's saying it wasn't my fault and the other person says it wasn't my fault, and we have to get accident reconstructionists involved or either biomechanical people, any of that kind of stuff. If you look at the transfer of forces, if there's less crush, sometimes there's actually more force that's put on the occupant of the vehicle. So if you've got say it's a rear end wreck, in a situation like you're talking about, Jared, where the car that rear ends, you know, presumably our client's car is crushed, but our client's car is not crushed a whole lot, then just pure physics that will be explained by the expert in the case can come in and show that there's more force on the body because the car actually absorbed less of the force in the impact. So it can also go to what we call causation and damages in a case as to whether the amount of force that was in the wreck was sufficient to cause injuries to the human body in that particular incident. Another thing that you need to be careful about when you're taking pictures is don't just zoom in really close on the damage to the vehicle itself. I mean, it's fine to do that, but also take wider view pictures of the whole wreck scene, because when you're taking wider view pictures of the wreck scene, you're going to capture more stuff. You're going to capture road signs. You're going to capture where both cars hopefully came to rest, you know, after the wreck itself. You may capture people that are at the scene that are not in the accident report that we can identify sometimes, not always, but sometimes we can identify those people as critical witnesses in the case if it's a contested liability situation, right?
And along those same lines, I think you might get some pushback on it, but if there are people at the scene, take pictures of their driver's license, get a business card, get something from them. Don't assume, this is getting a little outside of pictures, but don't assume that the officers at the scene are going to get everybody's information. If you can take a picture of their cell phone, you know, something along those lines, just so we could find them down the road, I think that's really important. A third thing to think about is taking pictures of the debris at the scene. A lot of wrecks will create an issue as far as who caused it, how it happened. If it's a who crossed the center line case, it can be important to figure out where the impact occurred. So taking pictures of the debris field, where the debris is in the road, can go a long way. Joel and I are working on a case now where these cars hit each other. They both kind of hit and then left the roadway, and there's a question as to who crossed the center line and where the wreck occurred. I think the first thing any recon guy is going to want to know is, was there debris in the road? Was it in the left lane? Was it in the right lane? Was it on the double yellows? So having those pictures can go very far to help us figure out, you know, where it occurred and reconstruct what happened in the wreck.
Yeah. I think overall, the most important thing to remember is after you've been in a wreck, video is great. Like, just video the entire scene if you can with your phone. Pictures are great too, but don't get too granular with those pictures. Like, the big overall view is often much more helpful than just up close pictures of the damage to the car. And so just try to remember when you're doing that to capture as much as you possibly can. Roadway markings, the position of the cars, people that happen to be there, where signs are at, distances from intersections. If you're if it's a curb and somebody crossed the center line, like sight distances, because there could be cases where it's a roadway design defect that caused this to happen. If a car runs off the road, the distance between the asphalt and the dirt, all of these type things. And I know it's hard to remember to do all that right after a wreck because your adrenaline's going and you're excited and you're anxious and worried and you're probably hurt. If nothing else, take a few pictures and video of the entire scene so that if the police officer or the accident reconstructionist that might work with the state patrol doesn't do a great job, we'll have something to go off of to bring us to the scene that night. So I think that's it. It's not that complicated. The most important thing to remember in any personal injury case involving a car wreck is going to be to try to capture as much as possible in video and or photo while you're at the scene. Anything else on that, Jared?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this video today. If it's been helpful, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we will see you next week.
As personal injury lawyers, we love what we do, and we're happy to share the experience we've gained in personal injury law. To help our family, friends, and YouTube subscribers, we've shared over 300 personal injury videos covering various injury topics. So if you'd like to gain more knowledge that may help protect yourself or a loved one when you're on the roads or out in public, check out our channel or view our playlist of shorts for quick personal injury tips.